Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be unboxing the Beasts of Chaos Warcry card pack. So I picked up the Start Collecting Beasts of Chaos set, and I had to get the Warcry card pack to go with those. So if you want to check that video out, you can see that separately, and that's already up on the channel. So take a look at that in the video section. Right, let's get these cards open and see exactly what we're going to get for our Warcry Beasts of Chaos Warband. And I can't wait to see the abilities here. It's going to be great fun. Here we go, let's get it open. I didn't do a great job there cutting that. Let's just rip it up. Get rid of this. Okay, here we go. So we've got our fighter type card and our abilities. And you'll find with all the Warcry card sets and all the Warcry warbands, you get all the different fighter type cards in different languages. So we don't need those. We'll just stick with the English. Get rid of those out of the way. And let's see the choices we've got here. So we've got Gors, Dragon Ogres, Bestigors, and Bulgars. So these are our fighter types, and I think with the Gors we should get a few different fighter type cards, so we'll check that out in a second. And then on the back there you can see we've got all the different abilities, and they're going to be assigned to the different players with those rune marks, and we'll look at those abilities as we go through each of the fighter type cards. Okay, and here's our fighter type cards, and we get our two duplicates, and they're important if you've got just one card but more players that you want to play as that fighter type, so they'll come in handy. And I think for these kind of war bands where you've got lots of similar players like Ungor Raiders, that kind of thing, you need those. And then we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 fighter type cards. So this is really nice. This is a really nice pack with lots of different options, and let's take a look at those one at a time, and we'll start at the lowest points and work our way up to the big boys and see what we're going to get. Okay, let's start with our lowest points, and this is our Gor. And here he is at 55 points, and this is a Gor with Gor blades, and he's got 2 blades. And so movement for this guy is 5. He can take 10 damage with a toughness 3. He's got to be up close and personal with those Gor blades, so it's a range of 1. He can make 3 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 3, 3 on a crit. So as you would expect from a 55 point miniature fighter, this is pretty much what we're going to get. And there we go, that's our first one. He's got no abilities except for this one here that's going to match his warband rune mark. So let's check out that ability. And this is normally for every fighter in the warband with the warband rune mark, which they're going to have. They're going to get an ability. It's not always the case, but most of the warbands it is. And here we go. And this is a double called Bray Ambush. A fighter can use this ability only if it is the first battle round. This fighter can make a bonus move action of a number of inches equal to the value of this ability. Okay, so we can only do this in the first battle round, and I guess this is to signify them charging in as a herd into battle, fueled with energy and ready to go. So you want to be getting doubles, I guess, on your first turn, otherwise you're not going to be able to use this ability with these like lower point miniatures fighters. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Obviously it plays into the narrative, which we like, so that's really cool. But that's our first fighter, and that's the Gor with pair of Gor blades. Now we're on to our first Ungor, and at 60 points this is an Ungor with blade and half shield. In the picture he's got this mace, but the same rules apply to all the blade weapons that come with the Ungors. And this is the first card that's going to match up with the Start Collecting Beasts of Chaos set. So this Ungor, he's got a movement of 5, he can take 8 damage, toughness 4, so he gets a little bit extra from the shield, but can't take as much damage as that previous Gor. And he's got a range of 1 with his weapon there. He can make 2 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 3 on a crit. So he's 5 points more than the Gor, but he's losing out on an attack dice there, and he can't take as much damage, but he is a bit tougher. So you've got to weigh that up there and see how you like to play, and also what miniatures you've got, I suppose. But he's just got that 1 warband rune mark, so he just gets that first ability, the Bray Ambush. Right, that's our first Ungor. with Ungor Blade and Half Shield. Now we're on to our Gore with Gore Blade and Beast Shield. And this guy's at 65 points. He's got a movement 5. He can take 10 damage with a toughness 4. He's got a range of 1 with his weapon, can make 2 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 3 on a crit. And this Gore doesn't come in the start collecting set. But if you've got a Warband, if you've got an Age of Sigmar army already, you can certainly start bringing these in. Or I think you could paint up and kit bash some of the other kind of Bestigors and Ungors together from the start collecting set and build your own Gore, no problem. But this guy's, again, ability wise, he's only got the rune mark, so he just gets on a double, the Bray Herd Ambush. Now moving up to 70 points, we've got our Ungor Raider, and this one certainly comes in the start collecting pack. You could do 10 of these if you want to, and it's nice to get some ranged weapon at this 70 point mark. And this guy, again, he's got a movement 5, he can take 8 damage with a toughness of 3. He's got a ranged weapon, so minimum 3 inches, maximum 15. 2 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 3 on a crit. And if he gets up close and wants to have a little tussle, he's got another blade there. So it's a range of 1, 2 attacks, strength 3, 1 to 3 on a crit. And it's nice because he gets an extra ability. So let's check out what that one is. And on a double, he's going to get that Bray Herd Ambush. But now he's got this next one, which is a triple called Volley of Arrows. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of attack actions made by this fighter, this activation, that target an enemy fighter more than 3 inches away. So we can only use this on our ranged weapon, which is perfect. And he's going to get an extra attack there, so he can make 3 attacks, strength 3, 1 to 3 and a crit, which is really nice for a model of 70 points. And that's really good. So we can get some of these Ungor Raiders attacking from a distance and just taking some points off the enemy there while you're tougher. Maybe you move your Bestigors up and get them stuck in, getting a bit of cover from these guys. So that's our Ungor Raider. Now we've got our another Ungor, and this Ungor again is included in the start collecting pack, which is nice. And he's got 70 points too. And this is an Ungor with gnarled short spear and a half shield. So he's got a movement of 5. He can take 8 damage with a toughness 4, again propped up with that shield. And he's got a range with his weapon of 2. He can make 2 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 4 on a crit. So we're getting a little bit more extra damage here now. It's creeping up, and at 70 points, that's pretty good. And he's just got the 1 Warband rune mark, so no extra abilities. He just gets that Bray Herd Ambush on a double. Next, we're jumping up from 70 to 115 points. And this is our first Bestigor, and I really like these Bestigors, and these are included in the start collecting box as well. And for this 115 points, we're going to get a movement 5, can take a fair bit more damage now, taking 12 damage with a toughness 4. And that toughness 4, he hasn't got a shield, so he's just a all-round tougher dude. And he's got a range of 1 with his axe. He can make 3 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit, which is really nice. So we got 3 attacks, really quite strong, with 2 to 4 on a crit's awesome. For 115 points, that's not bad. And we get an extra ability, so let's check that out. So he's got the double Bray Herd Ambush, but now he also gets on a triple this Bestial Charge. Until the end of this fighter's activation, the next time this fighter finishes a move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter. Then allocate a number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. Alright, so yeah, this is really pushing the idea that these guys want to get up close. They're running in with those horns, they're strong, they're dealing the damage, and as long as we can get him to end his move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, he can attack another enemy fighter and automatically give a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability. So if we're getting 5s or 6s here for this triple, that's a lot of damage, and I think that wouldn't be too difficult to dish out. So for 115 points, I'm really impressed with this Bestigor, and I think with some Ungor Raiders backing him up and sending in a volley of arrows, this is going to be really cool, and I really like this one. So that's our Bestigor. Now we're moving up, and we've got our Angor Halfhorn, and this is kind of like a leader for the Ungors, and he comes in at 130 points, and he's got a movement of 5, can take a lot more damage. He can take 16 with a toughness 4. He's got his rune mark for the Warband, but he's also got the leadership rune mark, so he's going to get that leadership ability. and when he's attacking, he's got a range of 1 with his sword, can make 3 attacks, strength 3, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. It's all round not too bad, can take a fair bit of damage there, but let's see what this ability does for him. Again, he's got the double Bray ambush, and the leadership ability is a double called Rip, Gore and Tear. A fighter can use this ability only if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an attack action made by them this activation. This fighter makes a bonus move action or a bonus attack action. So not too exciting, but for 130 points and it's only a double, that's pretty good. And I think he'll be dishing out some damage with his 3 attacks 2 to 4. So coming towards the end of the game when we've taken out some players and lowered their points with the others, I'm sure you can make use of that. So there we go. That's our Ungor Halfhorn, and that's the leader for the Ungors. Next we've got our Ungor Raider Halfhorn, and he's going to be a leader for our Ungor Raiders. And again, both these Ungor Halfhorns are included in the Start Collecting pack, so it's nice to see these cards can really be put to use with that Start Collecting pack. And he's got a movement 5, he can take that good amount of 16 damage. He's got a toughness 3, so he's not got a shield because he's got the bow there, so he's not as tough, but he's got an extra ability and the leadership ability, so that's really good. And with his weapons, he's pretty much the same here as the other Ungor Raiders, where a range of 3 to 15 with 2 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 3 on a crit. But the difference here, because he's got this bigger sword, he's got a range of 1, he can do 3 instead of 2 attacks, with a strength 3 dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. So he's a little bit tougher here with his kind of up close weapon. And let's see those abilities. We've already seen those for the others, so we'll just go over them quickly. So we've got the double Bray ambush. He's got that Rip, Gore and Tear leadership ability, and then because he's got the bow, he's going to get the triple volley of arrows, and that's going to up his attack to 3 there and give him a little bit extra in that department. But for 140 points, I don't know, not really as good as I thought it would be for that, but he does get a little bit extra toughness there. So if he's up front and some of the opponents get a bit closer to the Ungor Raiders he's with, then he can kind of take some of the damage on their behalf and also dish it out up close while they keep their distance. So some options for tactics there, and that's our Ungor Raider Halfhorn. Next we're on to this guy, and he is a faux render, and I think he is from the Gors. I'm not sure. If you know, please put it in the comments below. I think he's from the Gors, and he's going to be a leader then for the Gors, but this wouldn't be too hard to make from the miniatures that are included in the Start Collecting set. And he's got a movement of 5, he can take a fair bit more damage now, 20 damage, with a toughness 4, and with his axes he's got a range of 1, can make 4 attacks as you would expect from a double weapon, strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. And his abilities, again, he's a leader, so he's going to get that double Rip, Gore and Tear, and also the double Bray ambush for being in the Warband. Now we're on to our Gouge Horn, and this guy is a leader, again, we can see from the leadership remark, and he's going to be a leader for the Bestigors. And I think these are fast going to become one of my favourite set of miniatures. They look so cool with those axes, the armour, and all the skulls and everything. He's even got a head there that he's got hold of. And this guy's got a movement 5. He's pretty tough, taking 22 damage with a toughness 4. He's got that leadership remark and another one that we haven't seen, so we'll check that out in a second. And with his axe, he's got a range of 1, can make 4 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 5 on a crit. So this is starting to go up now, which we like. 185 points, 2 to 5, 5 on a crit there with 4 attacks is really nice. And his abilities, we know he's going to get that double Bray ambush, the Rip, Gore and Tear leadership, and now on a triple, the Bestial Charge. We have seen this one. So this is going to be for all the Bestigors, I imagine, that Bestial Charge. So pretty tough. You don't want to get up close with this guy. He's going to dish out a lot of damage, and if you can use that triple, rolling 5s or 6s as well, you're going to do some serious damage. So this is really good, and this is our Gouge Horn, our leader for the Bestigors. Now we're starting to move on to these bigger brutes here, and these are called the Bulgars. And this is a Bulgar with paired Bulgar axes, and that can be a mix between axes and maces here, so you can mix it up. These Bulgars aren't included in that start collecting set, but I think they look awesome, don't they? I think they would be really cool to pick up on their own, and I think for 190 points they're going to look really good on the Warband. I'd love to see how big they are compared to the Bestigors as well. Okay, so this Bulgar, he's got a movement of 5, he can take 30 damage, so he can take loads of damage for that amount of points. He's got a toughness 4, and he's got the one ability here. We haven't seen this one, so that's good. And he's got a range of 1. He can make 4 attacks with his paired Bulgar axes. Strength 5, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. So that's really nice. 4 attacks, strength 5. Can dish out the damage there. And let's check out that new ability. And just like the others, he's got the double Bray ambush. But this one that's unique to him is a double again, and it's called Blood Gorge. A fighter can use this ability only if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an attack action made by them this activation. Remove a number of damage points allocated to this fighter equal to the value of this ability. Okay, so he takes them down, he's going to like engorge himself with their blood, and that's going to give him extra strength and remove some of those damage points. And that's only a double, and so I think it's not going to take him long to take some players down with this amount of damage dealing ability here. So that's really nice, and I love how that plays into the narrative for these beasts. Alright, now we've got another Bulgar, but this time it's a Bulgar with a great axe, so he's just got the one weapon, and he's the same amount of points, and he also gets that same ability, and the movement of 5, the damage of 30, and the toughness of 4 is the same as well. The difference being he's got a range of 1 with 2 attacks, strength 5, dealing 3 to 6, 6 on a crit. So although he's got 2 less attacks, he's dealing a fair bit more damage there. You get some 6s, he's going to be doing really well. And with that Blood Gorge ability and the Bray ambush, this is a really cool looking miniature, and I think it'll be great fun to play. Now we're moving away from our bulls and going on to the Dragon Ogre with Draconic Crusher. Here we go, so 195 points. This is a totally different miniature to what we've seen so far, and he's got a little bit extra movement, at 6 movement with 30 damage he can take with a toughness 4. He's got a very different ability that we'll see in a second. And for this weapon, this crusher weapon, he's got range of 1, can make 3 attacks, strength 4, dealing 3 to 6 on a crit. So for that extra 5 points, we're really pushing this up. Attack wise, he's got 3, which is nice. 3 to 6 on a crit is really good. And let's see what that extra ability is. So he can make that double Bray ambush, but he's also got this new one here, which is a quad called Bring Down the Storm. Pick one visible enemy fighter within 20 inches of this fighter and roll 1 dice. On a 2+, allocate a number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. Whoa, so that's pretty cool. So within 20 inches, as long as he can see them, and he gets 1 chance at this on a 2+, so very good odds of getting it, he can allocate a number of points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. So if you've got 4, 5s or 6s here, you know, for that ability, you're going to get some sneaky damage being applied quite easily from 20 inches away. So that's really good. So that's our first Dragon Ogre, and he's got the Draconic Crusher and a really good ability on a quad there. And now we've got another Dragon Ogre, and this one's got a Draconic Warglaive, and for the same amount of points as we would expect, we're getting a movement 6, can take 30 damage with toughness 4. He's got that quad again, Bring Down the Storm, and the double Bray ambush ability, and he's got a little bit extra range on his weapon here. He can make 4 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 5 on a crit. So instead of 3 to 6, he's 2 to 5, but he gets the extra attack and he's got a little bit extra range. So, and again, the abilities, the double Bray ambush and the quad Bring Down the Storm. And here we go, now we've got another Dragon Ogre. This time he's got the paired ancient weapons, so this is good. 195 points. He's exactly the same as the other Dragon Ogres, with the same 6 movement, can take 30 damage, toughness 4, and the rune mark for the quad Bring Down the Storm there. And he's got a range of 1 with his weapons, can make 5 attacks, so a few extra attacks there because he's got the double weapons. Strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. So ability wise, we've got that double Bray ambush and the quad Bring Down the Storm. And it's nice to have these 3 dragon ogres with a little bit of variety in the range and how many attacks and how much damage they can deal. So that's our third dragon ogre with the paired ancient weapons. Now we're on to our final two cards, and these are the real big guys now. 245 points. And when I saw this, I thought it might be the Doom Bull, but it's not. This is the Bloodkin with paired Bulgar axes, and he's 245 points. He's got a movement 5, can take 35 damage, toughness 4. He's got a few abilities here, which is nice, and with his range there, his range of 1, can make 5 attacks, strength 5, 2 to 5 on a crit. So really strong, can make lots of attacks, can deal lots of damage, and ability wise, this is looking good with the double Bray ambush. He's a leader, so he's got the rip, gore and tear on a double, and he's also got the blood gorge, so he can pump up his damage, his damage points, and kind of redo his health there a little bit. So that's great, and he looks awesome. These are really good. I like these Bulgars a lot, so I think I'm going to have to get some Bulgars at some point because they look good, and to have those bigger beasts as part of the warband will be great fun. So that's our first Bloodkin there, paired with Bulgar axes. Now our final card in the pack is a Bloodkin with the Bulgar Great Axe, and this looks so cool. And he's got the same 250 points, movement 5, can take that 35 damage, toughness 4, and he's got the abilities there, range of 1, 3 attacks, strength 5, dealing 3 to 8 on a crit. So this is awesome. He's got less attacks than the other Bloodkin there, but strength 5, doing 3 to 8 is really good, and he can dish out some serious damage, and he can take it too at 35 with the ability that we've seen already, the Blood Gorge. He can also replenish his damage points, so he's going to be pretty tough, and it would make a really cool leader for any warband, I think, seeing this guy on the battlefield. And just to recap, he's got the double Bray ambush ability, the double Blood Gorge, and the leadership double rip, gore and tear. So that's our Bloodkin with Bulgar Great Axe, and I think it's a really cool miniature and a great fighter type card to end on for this pack of cards. So overall, I think this card pack's really good. We're getting loads of variety. We've got lots of cards we can use for the start collecting pack, and I think if you've got an Age of Sigmar army already for the Beasts of Chaos, then you're going to get a lot of use out of this here. I'd like to see some extra cards, certainly for the Great Bray Shaman, and as I've got the start collecting Beasts of Chaos pack, that the Great Bray Shaman's in there. But if you're in the same position as me and you want to see those cards, you can pick up the Agents of Chaos book, and then you can see on page 19, 20 and 21, it's got all the information about the Beasts of Chaos. And that includes the Great Bray Shaman fighter type card there. So you could refer to him from the book, or you could kind of photocopy it and print it off, or I'm sure there's somewhere online where you can get like the blank cards and fill them in for yourself. So you've got that option there, and you've also got some options for some other fighter types that aren't included in the cards. And if you don't want to get the card pack, you could just get this book, and it's going to give you tons more options for your Beasts of Chaos. And as a bonus, you'd get all the other different warbands too, with cards included. So this is a really great purchase. I'll do a separate review on this Agents of Chaos book at some point. But there we go, that's all the cards from the card pack, and I think it's a great set. It's got to be worth getting, especially if you've got an Age of Sigmar army already, and that's our Beast of Chaos card pack for Warcry. I hope this video has helped you and give you a good idea of what you're going to get in this card pack. Thanks so much for watching. Please like if you liked the video, subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.